sticky, sweet, spicy, honey barbecue chicken wings. Keep watching if you want to see how I make this super yummy dish. I have these 10 pieces of chicken wings and I'm just cutting them into smaller pieces. I'm keeping the drum and wing and I'm just tossing away the little tiny wing. You can keep them whole if you want, but I think it's just cuter, nicer, easier to work with, quicker to cook if you cut them into smaller pieces. So then I went ahead and washed my chicken. I like to wash my chicken with white vinegar. If you notice on chicken, they have these weird outer skin. I don't know, like these white or cream looking thingies on them that look kind of gross, and white vinegar really helps to clean the chicken better, and it just makes me feel a lot better really. So yeah, so I washed it with white vinegar and some water first, and then I rinse it off with some more water. So I want to make sure that my chicken is nice and dry, or at least there's no residue of water, so I do put it in a colander to drain the excess water out. I then turned on my oven to 180 degrees to preheat the oven. Now we're ready to season our chicken, so I just went ahead and sprinkled some salt onto the chicken, and then a very good amount of black pepper. I've really grown to like black pepper these days, and it's definitely a must when you're seasoning chicken, salt and black pepper. Of course, you don't have to season your chicken exactly the way that I'm seasoning it. You can really put your twist on it. But this is how I did it. So then I went ahead and put some thyme. Then I went ahead and added my homemade green seasoning, which I will put the link for on the description box. And then I have some garlic granules. Even though there's garlic in the green seasoning, I like to add a bit more because I like garlic. And also some ginger powder as well. Just a sprinkle. Then I sprinkled in a spoon of all-purpose seasoning. And then a little sprinkle of paprika. This is mostly for the color really, but it does add a certain smokiness to it. And then I'm putting some star Maggi cube, just 1 cube really. You don't need much because I already added salt and there's not a lot of chicken there. You definitely don't want this over salted. It will ruin everything. And then the magic ingredient, barbecue sauce. So I just put like a nice big squeeze in there. I would say that's like 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce. I'm just mixing it all together. You want to really try and massage the seasoning onto the chicken. I'm not leaving this to marinate at all, so the massaging really helps. Then I added a big sprinkle of corn flour to that. I would say about 3 tablespoons of corn flour I added. The corn flour you don't really need to, but I find that it kind of creates a nicer, thicker coating of the seasoning on the chicken, which I like. And again, I'm just massaging the seasoning onto the chicken with my hands. And then I went ahead and added about a tablespoon of olive oil just to bring everything together. And I find that when you're baking chicken, adding oil to your chicken seasoning, it really cooks a lot better and you get slightly crispier chicken. It's nicer. I am just oiling my baking pan just to lubricate for my chicken. You can leave this to marinate for however long you want. However, I didn't leave it at all, and the seasoning, the flavors was still very good in the chicken. and then I went ahead and put it in the oven at 180 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes. I turned it over to cook on the other side. It's looking so yummy already, and it smells so nice as well. And then back in the oven for another 15 minutes. However, keep an eye on it. If it's burning, obviously take it out, but in my experience it takes about 15 minutes, maybe 10. So now let's go ahead and make the coating for the chicken. So first of all, I want some honey in my pan. So I used roughly 3 tablespoons of honey. Don't put too much honey because remember, the barbecue sauce is also a little sweet and you don't want sickly sweet chicken. I then added in 3.5 tablespoons of soy sauce with my honey. My soy sauce is actually light soy sauce. There is a difference between light and dark soy sauce, but it doesn't really matter in this recipe. And then another big squeeze of barbecue sauce as well. I would say altogether I used about 4 tablespoons of barbecue sauce in this recipe. Again, green seasoning. Green seasoning is great to add. I add it into almost everything and it adds a really lovely flavor. Lots of herbs. And then some more garlic granules because again, I like garlic. And a sprinkle of paprika. So if you can see, I'm adding basically everything I added into the marinade for the chicken. And about half a spoon of all-purpose seasoning as well. I don't want to add too much seasoning into this because of the soy sauce. I don't want this salty at all, and the soy sauce kind of acts as my salt also. And then sriracha sauce. This is super duper spicy. It depends on which sriracha sauce that you have, but I don't add too much because it's really spicy. So go as much as you can take, but this was spicy enough for me. This was like half a tablespoon, I would say, and it adds a slightly acidic flavor as well. So my concoction is finished and now I just want to let it boil and reduce down. You want this to be very thick and almost kind of like caramelized so that it will coat the chicken and it will be nice and sticky. So I just tasted it there just to make sure that all my seasoning is all balanced and I'm happy with it. Oh yes, I did add some nutmeg. This is only a tiny taste of it and this is completely optional. I just like a tiny flavor of nutmeg in it as well. You can see that it is getting thicker. As I said before, it is important that it is nice and thick so that it will coat the chicken really well and it will be sticky, sweet, yummy. Yeah, it's not quite there yet. It's still a little bit runny. So I'm just letting it boil a little more and we're soon there. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes roughly to get there, and as you can see it is nice and thick. It could probably do with a little more boiling if you wanted it thicker. However, I decided to stop it right there because I was quite happy with the consistency, so I just turned the heat off. My chicken is also ready to come out of the oven and there it is, nice and brown, and I'm just taking my chicken out and putting it directly into the sauce. You might want to use a bigger pot than I'm using. I made things a bit difficult for myself, but it worked, it was fine. I just mixed the chicken into the sauce. Oh, it looks so yummy and it smells really good as well. Obviously, also be careful when you're mixing the chicken so you don't have shredded chicken instead of chicken wings. That wouldn't be the plan. I mean, if that's your plan, you know, that's fine. After mixing, I then went ahead and just poured the whole thing back onto my oven tray just to go back into the oven to caramelize and, you know, just marry together a bit more. It definitely makes a difference to go back into the oven for about 5 more minutes and then you'll be ready. I know your mouth must be watering looking at this. How amazing does this look? It not only looks amazing, it tastes really good. Really good. That was too hot. That was too hot. I decided to try again with a tongue, and yeah, does that look good or does that look good? And it tastes really good as well. I really hope you try this recipe out. You will really love it with some chips or some jollof rice. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you tried it out. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and share with your friends as well. Everyone else needs to see this chicken.